I'm Stacy with Edgewater Creative.
And I'm Tia with Done Classy Events.
We're two small business owners who reside in the beautiful city of Dunedin, Florida.
We love our charming city on the Gulf and want to share with you all it has to offer.
Join us as we chat with business owners, event hosts, and charities located in Dunedin and other surrounding communities.
So come along and meet us on Main Street. Check mic 1 2. Check it out.
Hello.
And welcome to
another edition
of Meet Us
on Main
Street.
Starring
the podcast.
the illustrious Tia Lawton and
the beautiful co-host Stacy Dennison.
Tia, what you been up to? Actually, before I say that, might I just might I remind our viewers or listeners that we do have some sponsorships available, advertising opportunities.
Oh my gosh, we said it right off for once, guys.
Like Tia just said, this will be on the internet for eternity. So that means your ads will be on the internet for eternity.
Even far past your business life, your ads will still be there.
Mm-hmm.
So
exactly.
Even future generations, which means that you are time capsuled on our show. So get your own little personal time capsule today by emailing us at meetusonmainstreetpodcast@gmail.com, and we will be more than happy to create a time capsule for you. And we want to promote your business on our worldwide sensation podcast, guys. I've looked it up just yesterday. We've got New Zealand, we've got Ireland, we've got a bunch of other ones. There was like 10 other ones. I just didn't remember listening to them all, but I was like, oh wow, we're just like all over the place.
Lithuania.
Now. Yes. Tanzania.
They love us in Tanzania.
They love us.
Huge Tia and Stacy fans in Tanzania.
That's going to be
all of our
tour.
merchandise.
Yeah,
it's shipped there. Speaking of merchandise,
Tia,
where can people find Meet Us on Main Street merchandise?
Oh my gosh, Stacy, thank you so much for asking that question. Well, you can find it by finding me in the back of my trunk of my car, and I always have that available for you at any point in time. But you can also, a much easier way is stop by the Dunedin Chamber of Commerce Visitor Center, and we have a little cubby.
What was that? Say that again.
Visitor Center. I'm getting dizzy here, Buster. Take 2. Dunedin Chamber of Commerce Visitor Center. And we have a little display going on. We've got some mugs. We've got some postcards. We're talking t-shirts soon. So we've got some things there to buy. So you have plenty of ways to support us. If you want to just give us money when you see us on the streets, we will accept that also. Like, yeah, we actually love it when you just like throw money at us in a rain-making kind of style. We don't get offended.
If you come up to us with nothing and just do this, no.
Oh, no. No.
Sure
there has to be some
real
dollar bills.
Bills on bills.
Even if they're ones, I'll take ones even, but you have to have a few, like to flip it a little bit, or else then it's just insulting if it's anything less.
So Tia, what you been up to?
Just making events happen and stuff like that. So I just had a wedding at Hob last night. It was the first full wedding that we did there, at least on my watch. I know they've had weddings there in the past. So that was a lot of fun. And I was the planner for it too. So I got to decorate and hang out and see one of my favorite things about weddings, which are drunken wedding dancers for a good part of the night. I always love that part. It's my favorite. But yeah, it went really well. Got a lot of good compliments. We now have cantina lights outside of the back patio of Hob. So those are going to be staying up year round too now. So if anyone else wants to have an event there, those will be included for the additional cost of putting them up. So they're yours.
Nice.
But yeah, so that was that's pretty much what I've been doing. I had that and been binge watching some stuff. I finished a bunch of shows that I've been watching for a while, which also makes me sad. A lot of shows ended, like The Good Place ended, and so I finished that up. Schitt's Creek ended, and I finished that up, and that one made me cry because it's just so sweet. And I think I had one other one, Supernatural. That was the other one. So it was a very big bummer because there's a lot of shows
Supernatural finally ended.
Yeah, 15 seasons.
Yeah, it went on about 8 seasons too long, in my opinion, but
a little bit. Hey, I know I was very diehard because I used to watch it on TNT. So like before I'd go to work, when I work nights, it was always on TNT during the day. So I'd always kind of like have it on in the background. So I got through probably like 8 or 9, like a continuous thing. But yeah, and then it kept going on. But Jensen Ackles, man, is pretty freaking sexy. So if he wants to be on Supernatural and they want to die 100 more times for the next 20 years, I'm okay with that.
That's a really long running show. Like I can't think of another show that's gone 15 seasons.
ER or Grey's Anatomy. Like any show that's a medical drama seems to go for like 20, 30 seasons. Simpsons, but again, cartoon, not. Yeah, Supernatural, especially a CW series. Yeah. That was shocking. But yeah, so The Good Place ended too, which was forking bullshit. But it was really sweet ending. And then Schitt's Creek was sad. I also recently took a quiz that was like, which Schitt's Creek character are you? And I got Moira, and I was like, that's very appropriate. But I feel like I'm Moira with a dab of Alexis, like because of the shoes. The shoes instead of the wigs would be. Who do you think you'd be in Schitt's Creek?
David.
John got Patrick. Yes. I love how instant that was your David. Like 100%. That's fantastic. I see that. He said he grew into such a sweet character too.
So maybe one day I'll grow into a sweet character. One can only hope.
Fingers crossed here for our sanities. Just so what have you been up to while I'm laying on the couch binge watching things for the weeks on end? Oh, and last binge watch, sorry.
Yeah.
Dark Shadows. Oh. Have you ever heard of this?
Yes, like my aunt is obsessed with Dark Shadows. So I've known about Dark Shadows for many years.
Me too. And it's literally the most painstaking show I've ever started watching because it is a soap opera. I don't know. I think it's ridiculous, but like they keep drawing out everything like a soap opera does, which makes you like hooked into it. And you're like, I have to know why. Like, but it, you know, what's so amazing
about that show is all the, like little snafus that you see that they kept in. So there's like, you'll see like someone holding a boom mic in the background.
Because it's a soap opera. So that's how because it's like a one and done take, because the lady that plays Elizabeth Collins, one of my favorite things is she fucks up multiple lines like throughout like every episode. Like, and you see her go, like, all right, just keep rolling on by that. Or one of them did, like, I could tell he fucked up his line, but he did a really good recovery. And I was like, good job thinking on your feet on how to recover off that. It was like, he said something like, it was supposed to be like inches instead of miles. And he was like, well, it felt like miles. I was like, good job, Roger Collins. Anyways, Miss Busy Lady, what have you been up to keeping you so busy?
So yeah, I've been busy with work, but also some social things, Tia.
Well,
I've been
how social?
Socializing. Well,
virtually.
I attended a murder mystery party last weekend.
Ooh, in person?
Yes. And we all were assigned a role before the party. So we got a mailed invitation, and it said on there like the cast of characters of who everyone was, and then it marked who your character was. I should note that it was a wine themed. It was supposed to take place at a California winery. So I was Tiny Bubbles, and Dominic was Ralph Rottengrape. It was ridiculous, as all murder mysteries are.
Yes, but
awesome.
It
was fun. And it was so funny because it was like, I don't know where she got this like kit from, but
Mhm.
it was like a good 20, I'd say it had to be like 20 to 25 years old, because first off, it had CDs that you play to follow along with.
That just made me so sad that you said 20 to 25 years old and then you said CDs and not like cassette tapes. Like that just made me feel old that it's CDs 20 to 25 years ago.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. I even had to do the math in my head. So it was CDs, but it had a narrator on the CDs. So like, and you each got a script. So when you came in, you got a script, and you got a special clue that you weren't allowed to open until the script told you to open it and reveal it to the others. So basically, Tiny Bubbles was a bit of a hoa, because
Is that why you chose her?
I didn't choose her. I was assigned her.
Oh, you didn't.
But so I guess that's what my friend thinks about me.
That's what I was just, you're like, you just like, that light bulb just went off. And you're like, hey, I'm gonna have to talk to her about that.
I have been called Blanche from the Golden Girls in my youth. And
well, now you're a married lady, a married Sadie lady.
Exactly. This was in my youth, in my youths. So my character,
your Hoey character,
yes, was engaged to the owner of the winery who went missing and was the dead body that was found. And then I got remarried to his cousin, who was the dark sheep of the family, aka Ralph Rottengrape. So anyway, I was not the murderer.
I always want to be the murderer, but I'm never the murderer in these things. Like,
no.
It's always the dream,
it was a lot
right?
of fun. It was fun. It was.
Did you guess the murder?
No. Well, it was, it was weird because a lot of murder mysteries like that, like you say what your guess is, but I don't remember us doing our guesses aloud. We were all drinking wine.
Yeah, exactly. It was a wine themed one. You just gave me a fantastic idea because I do absolutely love murder mysteries, and I've done a couple. So I'm thinking for Galentine's Day this year, I'm going to do a murder mystery version and find something funny like that to make everyone do.
Well, just look up your 1997 CD pack murder mystery.
Can I get it from timelife.com?
They accept COD, I believe.
Oh, yes, that's the only way I pay for anything these days.
How was that ever like a thing that they trusted people to do? Like, we'll send this to you, give us cash when we get there. Like, number one, you're trusting the person to collect cash, that they're going to take cash back to the company. And number two, you're trusting that someone has the cash to give you. Just a weird concept. I wonder why they got rid of it.
We used to live, funny story, in a trustworthy and a trusting world where children were allowed to roam the streets at age 5 because they didn't think that kidnappers were a thing or serial killers. And it's kind of in that same realm of naivete of, oh, of course that they're going to give me that cash on delivery because we live in this honest society. Wrong.
And people wisened up. And then the other event that I attended was the dog photos and fun event at Wolfgang Bakery.
I saw you with Cooper.
And I took little
He sat so pretty.
He did. And I have to say, so Carol Moorhead, the dog tug, who was on an episode of Chamber Chatter with us, episode 3, she was the photographer. And I told her, like, listen, I don't know if he's going to cooperate. Sometimes he's a wild card, like.
She probably hears that all the time too.
Yeah. And I'm like, don't put your face in his face. If he puts his face in your face, it's fine. If you put your face in his face, he doesn't like it. All right. He's very particular.
This is why we love our pets, because Goku is also neurotic like that. If you're going to pet him from behind. Don't let him see you pet him. If you let him see you pet him, he's going to bite the crap out of your hand. Like, there's certain things.
Whenever I leave on vacation, which actually now usually I don't go on vacation unless my mom can watch Cooper. But In the past, I used to have either a cousin or a friend come over and watch the dogs. And I literally like typed up a dossier this thick on the dogs. Like, okay, this is
A
what
binder.
they like. This is what they like. Do this, don't do that. Cooper likes this toy, not that toy. Don't pick up that toy. Pick up this toy. Throw it this way. He doesn't like it that way. So yeah, they're very particular.
This direction, that direction. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. I need to do that with Goku. I usually just like rattle off everything, and I've realized that it's such a laundry list that it should just be down.
You need to write it all out. Yeah.
Or else somebody's going to get attacked.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So yeah, I ran quickly through the list with Carol, and she's like, okay. And so she's like, could you lift him up on the box? So we lifted him up on the box, and she went to her perch, and all of a sudden you hear squeak, squeak. And I was like, what was that? I guess she had like a thing. She did that, and he was just like, pose. And she got the pictures, and that was it. I mean, it was easy. And she even said, she was like, he's one of the easiest ones that I've had today.
Wow. You're just like, are you talking about my dog?
I know.
My dog?
My Cooper? My dog?
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm so proud of you for getting out there in the world. And
thank you. However, now that COVID cases are going up again, I'll probably retreat back into my shell.
Yeah, well, at least you got a little fresh taste of air.
So on today's show, we have a very special guest.
We have like the best, I'm sorry to everybody else, but like the best guest on today's show, guys.
The guest of today's episode is also our co-host, Tia Lawton of Done Classy Events. Stay tuned.
Hey guys, meet us on Main Street here. Stacy and I are all about staying young and beautiful, so we wanted to share with you a salon that we recently discovered to take care of all of our beauty needs.
That's right, Tia. Beauty on Broadway offers everything from the most complex hair treatments like keratin and balayage to advanced permanent makeup for lips, brows, eyeliner, and even scalp micropigmentation. The owner, Mary Katz, is a nationally certified and recognized trainer for permanent makeup who holds over 25 certifications from the most prominent artists around the world. So she really knows her stuff.
And everyone who works there are true professionals who make sure their clients get exactly what they want.
You know what else is awesome about them? They do free paramedical tattooing for all breast cancer survivors.
That is awesome. And they were just ranked among the best in the nation for their COVID-19 procedures. So you have a clean and safe space to go get away from the world and just let loose.
You guys seriously need to go check them out. Visit their website for more information and to make your appointment today at beautyonbroadway.salon. So we have Tia Lawton from Done Classy Events on the show today. Hello and welcome, Tia. How are you today?
Thank you so much, Stacy. I've been listening to your podcast with you and your very, may I add, attractive and highly intelligent co-host for like since you guys started. And I just want to say I'm a huge fan. Wow. Huge fan. I've listened to them all, especially of that Tia girl. I mean, she's just love her.
Perfection.
So yeah, thank you for having me on the show today.
You're welcome. Thanks for being such a big fan of the show too. We always love having fans on the show.
100%. I'm the biggest fan. I'm one of the two biggest fans of our show.
So Tia, you are the owner of Done Classy Events, aka Party Stylist, aka your go-to party girl.
I had to remember which boob it was on. There you go. Okay.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about Done Classy Events?
So Done Classy Events is a party styling and event planning business. And we focus on everything from theme parties, birthdays, anniversaries. We do date nights. We do small business launches. Pretty much any party that you can think of, we can take care of for you. So the only thing that we don't really do are weddings. If we do weddings, we do micro weddings, which is usually around 75 and under people. And that's actually quite perfect in this COVID environment that we have now, because not many people are doing very large weddings. Back when I was a wee girl in my 20s, I loved throwing parties. And I was always a party girl. I loved having everyone come together. I loved everyone having fun. I loved decorating. I loved everything that had to do with parties. And it struck me, I was like, especially when you're in your 20s and you have no idea what you want to do with your life. I started thinking, I was like, oh my gosh, I wonder how I can become a party planner. So I found a course that was at SPC College. They had a certificate program for event planning, wedding and event planning. And my teacher at the time, she was an event planner and owned their own event design company with her husband called MMD Events. It was a 2-month-long course where you had to do a bunch of credit hours and all that other fun stuff. And you learned a lot about it. I got to intern on a couple of weddings, a wedding and a bar mitzvah. Those are my first 2 segues into real event worlds. And they were always on a larger scale with everything. So you got to see the really big events and see how all the inner workings of it happened. And so after I finished the class, cyberstalked my teacher into a job, and I became part of their event crew. And this was back in like 2005. And then 6 months later, after being a part of their event crew, I realized that I could do a lot better than the current inventory and warehouse manager that was working there. So I told them that, and then I got promoted to the event inventory and warehouse manager and event production manager. So pretty quick rise. I've did that for about 3 years. I took a sabbatical, and now I still work there doing part-time stuff to this day. So that's my rise to event planning, because then I decided I wanted to go out on my own and start doing it for myself.
Well, cyber stalking really pays off, because that's also how I started dating Dominic. So boys and girls listening, cyber stalk. That's how you get ahead in life.
All right, I'm going to go over to my co-host hat. Meet us on Main Street, approved cyber stalking. All right, back to Done Classy. Okay. But yeah, it really does help.
So you kind of answered 4 questions all in that one answer. So let me back.
It's gonna be a short interview. It's gonna be a short interview, guys.
So you talked about working for them and how you took a sabbatical and then, now work for them part-time. But what really inspired you to open your own business, Done Classy Events?
So I've always wanted to own my own business. Anyone who knows me knows that I don't like being told what to do, and I don't like having to smile at sycophants.
As your co-host laughs evilly.
Because she knows me. So I don't like being told what to do. I don't like having to kind of smile when I don't feel like it. And I know as a business owner, you do kind of have to do some of that stuff, but when it's on your own terms. I decided before even event planning that I wanted to be my own business owner, is just kind of what I was going to do. When it was kind of stemmed from the fact that I didn't like the fact that I didn't know, like, you're hired one day and you're fired the next day, right? So at least when you're a business owner, you see the downhill. You probably know a good 6 months to a year, like, before your business will probably shut down if it's a money situation or like something like that. So you get a little bit more heads up instead of just being like tossed out on your ass, though it can still happen, but it's a little less. You have more control over your life and your hours. And I'm also a very controlling person, though I'm sure nobody can believe that statement whatsoever. We're getting a therapy dive into me in this episode too.
Well, that is, I'd say, an asset in an event planner.
Exactly, because that is one of the great things with it when I do events, is that I'm really good at controlling chaotic situations, which is anyone that's worked any events knows that there is always some form of chaos at an event. And one of the best things you can do is keep a cool, calm head and just know how to get stuff done. Usually I'd be the one when other employees would be freaking out about like, oh my gosh, how are we gonna do it? how it's like, as soon as everyone starts freaking out around me, for some reason, I get this weird sense of calm and I'm just like, all right, we got this. It's like, this is what you have to do. And like, I can just organize things. Now, when everything's calm, I don't know how to, deal, but chaos, I really thrive in. So that's perfect for the event world.
The 2 days that I was a wedding planner on the beach, I was told that they had a wedding or multiple weddings on Christmas Day. And that was the day that I quit.
I think that's one thing that I've seen in events a lot. And I see the logic behind why people choose holidays for your events. Here's a little piece of information for people out there thinking about planning events. Nobody wants to spend their Memorial Day weekend, their Labor Day weekend, their Christmas break, their New Year's Eve at your wedding. I just want to throw that out there in case any of y'all are thinking about planning on something. Nobody wants to be there, but you're now forcing them to be there. But those are those types of things where that drives me crazy when they're like, but the reason is because everyone's in town or like everyone has the time off. So they're like, oh, I'm just going to combine it. No. They want to go get drunk on the beach. Like they don't want to go to your wedding and spend the night making small talk with people. Like,
yeah. No one wants to spend their 4th of July at your wedding, Miranda.
And the event crew doesn't want to spend because they're not, at least maybe your people that you invite may want to come because it's free booze, like open bar. But the poor event crew and catering staff that you have hired on doesn't want to spend
because they're not even charging extra. They're not charging extra for it being that day. So they're not getting paid extra to be there. So you're just screwing with them.
Yeah, you just are pissing a lot of people off by planning any event. Well, not any event, any wedding on a holiday. Other events are a little different because it's more like, hey, look, we're having a party. It's Memorial Day. Come to my barbecue. And it's like, cool. But like when you say like, oh, I'm getting married, like, and it's like your sister or something, you're like, well, you can't just be like, fuck you. I'm not going to your, it's Christmas. I'm not going to your damn wedding. Like, or insert holiday here that you avoid. But
exactly.
Yeah, that's a little thing for y'all out there. Don't just schedule your events on.
Little tipsy from the Meet Us on Main Street gals. Do you have certain events that you like to plan over others?
Yes, anything themed parties or Halloween parties. Those are always my favorite to do. I used to always have a Halloween party in my 20s when I first moved out. I would have a Halloween party every year, requirement of costumes. Like I would deck out everything. And I just did 2 this year, which was pretty awesome. So I definitely love doing any kind of Halloween parties, theme parties. I always like when people want to like make people dress up. Like it's just fun because then you're like a kid again. Like, oh, we're having a luau party. Wear your Hawaiians. I know a lot of people don't like doing that. And they're like, oh God, I have to dress up. It's a costume party. But I love costume parties. So when I get to like throw them and see everyone in them, those are always the most fun. Like hands down. One of my favorite things to do, and it's my date night packages, because I love how happy the couples are when they like have this all set up. So the date night package is I am there to set up your perfect date night and have a sunset beach picnic on Honeymoon Island. I go out there, I scout out. I have a really good spot that's kind of away from people, but depending on what day of the week you pick, like I can't help it. Like if you pick a Saturday in August, like I don't know what to tell you, like there's going to be people on that beach. But if you pick a different day, it's a very cute spot, perfect for sunset. I go and pick up your food. I pick up desserts. I set up a very cute little display. You can see some of the pictures of them on my Facebook page. And then you arrive and surprise your loved one with this beautiful thing that you had. And I actually have a full-on picnic basket too that I like pack the food in. People love it. And I love how happy it makes the couples too, how they're just like, oh, it's so sweet. And it's such a simple thing. And that's what I love. Like I'm not doing anything too crazy, but it's just the act of doing something simple and something out of the mundane that you standardly do for your loved ones, and it makes people so happy. So I really like being a part of that. And I always like sneak around because I'm really worried someone's going to steal the setup. So I'm anyone that hires me for the date night packages, I am around the corner like sneaking there because I don't want to be there when they show up, because I want them to just show up
right.
and it's this beautiful setup. And it's not me going, oh, I'm sweaty. I've been running around in all black on the beach. So I'm usually around like a corner, like
hiding behind the sand dunes.
Yeah, exactly. Behind the grass stuff that's in there, just until you get there. And then I'm like, oh my God. It's literally my heart. I'm just like, the whole time I was like, someone's going to steal that fucking food. Someone's going to steal it. And I see kids walk by and I'm like walking over there like a crazy person. But yeah, those are my favorite ones to do. But I like doing a lot of parties. I love parties in general. It's just everyone's always so happy at a party. Mm-hmm. Everyone's always having a good time for the most part, unless it's, you know, drama or whatever. But 99% of the time, if you're at a party, you're having a good time and like everyone's happy. So it's nice to have, again, break from the standard life and, oh, go to work, come home, blah, blah, blah. And the other great part about being in, yeah, exactly. Another great thing about being in events is that it's constantly changing.
So you mentioned your date night package. What other packages or services do you offer? What if someone is like you, that they like throwing parties, but they may want to just enjoy the party that they put together? Do you have an option for that?
Yes, that is perfect for the DIY moms. That definitely is a big one for if you're throwing yourself a special birthday party. I've done party hosting for like 50th birthdays. I've done it for kids' birthdays. And a lot of the times I tell people that it's you're having this party for you, like, or you're having this party for your child, and like you're not even getting to enjoy any of it because you're running around checking the food, refilling the drinks, cleaning up the trash, and then at the end of the party you're exhausted and you never got to talk to anyone because you're too busy throwing the party. So that's where I come in. I'm the one that will sit there and for party hostessing, I do any last minute decoration placement. Like if you ask me questions, obviously I will answer. I'm not going to be like, give me $25 or something. And I do trash pickup. I'll do the dishes. I refill drinks. Like I'm there to hostess your party so that you get to enjoy this thing that you've spent your time and your money on. So yes, I do have party hostessing packages. Planners typically go for about $150 an hour, but nobody ever thinks that, I mean, who gets paid $150 an hour? But your time is spent differently as an event planner because there's so much time off the scenes, and like
right, it's not $150 for if you have an event from 4 to 8 p.m. That doesn't mean that it's $150. That's including the 4 hours in advance that you spent setting up for the party, the 2 hours after that you tore it down. So it's not really $150 an hour. It's a lot less than that when you break down all the running around you've done, all the planning, the decorating, the putting together decorations, balloon arches, that sort of thing.
Yeah, because balloon arches, I'm very glad you mentioned that, because I do balloon structures, and I do balloon arches, balloon structures, and things like that. With a balloon structure, the first time I ever did a balloon, like I did a champagne bottle, you can see that on my Facebook page too, and I'm obsessed with it, is the champagne bottle, and had like the balloons that were like the bubbles that were floating down and everything.
That was really cool.
So and I think I charged $15 because that was the amount of the kit that I bought. So the decorations itself, I just charged for the amount of doing it. And the amount of time it takes you to blow up balloons and then stick each individual one onto a wall and make them into a design, or even like hanging them up and making sure the thing is staying and filling in all the little holes, and like all the time it takes, like it's literally has to be at least 12 to 15 hours worth of work to make a balloon, like a simple balloon structure. Then you have to buy the pump to do it. Like I have a little air pump. It wasn't much, but like then you have to buy the little one, buy like an air thing, because think about blowing up each individual balloon. Like anyone that does balloon structures would never do that, because that's just insane. Like unless you're doing one and then like you don't want to, but if you do that for a living, you have to get an air pump.
Yeah.
Or else after one balloon, I'd be like, I'm done. I quit. Like I'm not, here's your money back. But yeah, like those are the things with events, is that a lot of people don't see the don't see why it's like, oh, why does it cost so much? Why are you charging so much? And it's like, well, you don't see all behind the scenes stuff that goes into it, the planning, the proposal, the shopping, the creating your table stuff, and then the setting it up.
Physical labor too.
Yeah, it definitely, because I do the events with MMD events, sometimes it's 2-day sets. I mean, and then or early morning sets. I have literally, when the RNC was in town, not this last, whenever Mitt Romney was here, when it was in Tampa. So we did 5 different events on a freaking skeleton crew. I worked 120 hours like in a week, and I stabbed myself in the face with a pair of scissors on like the last day of it all from exhaustion, and just like I broke down crying like in the middle of the set. We had to Hurricane Isaac came through, blew over a fucking chair or something, but we were worried about it. So we had everything set up on Postcard Inn at St. Pete Beach. We're all down on the beach. And then, so they're worried. So we had to move everything if anyone who's ever been to PCI or Postcard Inn, literally a football field length from the beach to the building, and there's no elevator. So it's upstairs. So we had to move an event all in a day, like 2 days. We had to, from the beach all the way across, up the stairs, and then we found out it wasn't going to rain, so we had to take everything from up the stairs, move it back down the stairs, all the way back down to the thing, literally down to the minute. I'm sitting there like wrapping martini glass tabletop things, and I think something happened where like something blew over, and I was just like like, so it does definitely take a lot for me to break, but like that's the thing with events. Like sometimes you're working these big events and stuff, like lighting companies and sound companies. Oh my gosh, I would never want to do lighting and sounds. Like J-Thor is a big one that gets used in the area. They are there setting up like 2 freaking days before, like with beams and wires and everything. And then they're the last to leave with all of their equipment on some of it. So events are definitely, it's not like all, like when I got into it, I was like, oh, it's all fun. Like it's all it's all a party. But then when you actually get into it, you're like, oh my gosh, like it is very physically intensive and emotionally intensive. It definitely takes a strong people to stay in it. I've seen many people come and go through the event world. But that's why you get your own business like me at Done Classy Events, and then you can do it more on your own schedule too, and your own types. Because I really focus on, with Done Classy Events, I do smaller events, more intimate occasions, more like 100 and less people. I love doing house parties and things like that, because I don't want that added stress of those like $1 million events. Like I just want to have let's everyone come together and have fun. I want that vibe.
So you're also the private event coordinator for Hub. Tell us a little bit about that.
I am the private event coordinator at Hob. I am super excited about our event space that is going in right now. If you have been wondering what is growing over at Hob Brewing Company, that is a 2-story event pavilion that we are putting up there. It's going to have a loft space. It's going to be open air down below. We're going to be able to have weddings and birthdays and corporate parties, work parties, and all sorts of things. I mean, we have them here and there now, but we're going to have a designated space for it. And then there's talks of having a bar going up on that top loft. So yeah, there's definitely very exciting. And that should be, at least the space itself should be done by January.
Nice.
But all the extras, bells and whistles, maybe a little bit longer. But we're actually going to be having a open house and a vendor showcase on February 7th there. So everybody is welcome to come out. I am now accepting vendor applications for that. So if anyone wants to be a part of it, we're picking 1 vendor per category for the event space. And it's just going to be kind of showcasing all the prettiness that we have going on. So stay tuned for that. If you want to book your space too, I'm also Done Classy Event is their preferred vendor and only event plan. No, just kidding. You can have outside event planners. But I am there too. So if you want to hire me, I do work through them and I give special rates if you book through Hob and then you hire me as your event planner that way. So Win-win-win.
So do you have any future plans for Done Classy events that you'd like to share with us today?
I don't know if I'm ready to share my plans, but yes, the answer is yes. I am going through a slight shift in my business model for Done Classy events. So that should be coming with the new year. So you'll just have to stay tuned and follow me on my social media pages to find out about that.
Well, that leads right into how can people contact you and follow you on social media?
You can contact me. My email address is doneclassyevents@gmail.com. My website is www.doneclassyevents.com. And Done Classy Events is my handle on Instagram and Facebook. You can follow me in all of those places. Check out my website, see all the past events that I've done. I would love to work with you on your party needs.
Thank you so much, Tia, for being on the show with us today. It's been
for having me.
It's been a joy to learn about Done Classy events and to speak with you. I hope that you come back again to our show sometime as co-host.
Thank you so much for having me. It was an honor to be on this amazing show.
You're welcome. Stay tuned for Inside the Podcast Studio. All right. So, Tia, we have Inside the Podcast Studio questions for you. This is our segment that we have stolen from the late and great James Lipton, R.I.P.
R.I.P.
So, Tia, I believe you are familiar with Inside the Podcast Studio when you put your co-host hat on. But I may have switched it up a little on you today.
There you go. Hat. There you go.
Oh wait, take it off because you're not in control of this one.
Right, now I'm off. Okay.
So I may have switched up a couple of the questions on you, so you don't know what to expect. But we'll start off easy. Are you ready?
I don't know. Okay.
What is your favorite word?
Fuck.
What is your least favorite word?
Oily.
What is your favorite curse word?
Fucking A.
What animal would you want to be?
A lion.
What is your go-to ice cream flavor?
Cookie Monster ice cream from Strahan's.
What animal would you never want to be?
Reptile.
What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
I always wanted to be an actress.
What profession would you not like to do?
Water treatment plant. Anything with sewage.
What song lyric do you always get wrong, or did you think was something else for a long time and was surprised to learn it was not that?
I actually had the perfect one, but I'm trying to remember what I used to think it was, but it's Michael Jackson's Beat It. And I remember when I was like 12 or 13, it was the first time I ever did karaoke. And me and a friend of mine chose that song. And then because it's beat it, just beat it. No one wants to be defeated is what the line is. Cause I know that now, but like, I think I thought it was, beat it. Nobody likes to beat it. So beat it.
That was a lot of beating it.
I really liked beating it back when I was 11 or 12. So I just like that song a lot.
And lastly, if you died tomorrow, what is one thing you would want the world to remember about you?
How hot I was.
And that is another edition of Inside the Podcast Studio. All right. Thank you, Tia, for being on our show today. We've learned so much about you and Done Classy events. It was great to have you on the show.
All right, guys. Well, we have some events coming up over the next couple weeks, and we are here to share them with you. And Stacy is going to start us out.
So on November 20th at 10 a.m., you can take a downtown Dunedin walking tour with the Dunedin History Museum. And that is at 10 a.m. I highly recommend it. I've done their walking tour before, and it's very entertaining. You do have to pre-register for that. So for more information, go to the History Museum Facebook page or website, or you can always call them to reserve your spot. And then also on the 20th, we have virtual movie night with Meet Us on Main Street, your favorite co-hosts and guest star, Brian. And we'll be watching Pretty in Pink.
Yay! We're finally watching Pretty in Pink, and we will be sponsored by Harley's Gourmet Popcorn and Cider Shop, and also on 11/20, because this is a super popular day. We're going a little bit outside Dunedin over to Safety Harbor and their third Friday celebration. That starts at 6 p.m. and the Gold Coast Greyhound Adoptions Gulf Coast division will be there with some greyhounds that you can adopt and pet and look at.
And then on 11/22, there is a sip and shop event at Sea Dog in the parking lot. So it's a nice outdoor event that they're going to have vendors at. And that is going to be from 11 to 4 at Sea Dog Brewing Company in Clearwater.
And on Wednesday, November 25th, we've got Team Trivia Night at Dunedin House of Beer, hosted by Big Trophy Trivia. That starts at 8 p.m. So gather that trivia team and you can win some prizes.
And get a big trophy.
Ooh. And last but not least, the Friday and Saturday markets at Pioneer Park are back. So instead of the summer market that we had on the side next to the History Museum, it is back to its fall and winter location over at Pioneer Park. And that is on Fridays and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. So go on and check that out.
And that's all the events we have for you this time, guys.
But if you would like to create your own event, Done Classy events at gmail.com is waiting to hear from you and would love to plan an event for you.
We wish you all a happy Thanksgiving.
Yes, happy Thanksgiving. And you know what? We are so thankful for our fans. Thank you all for listening to our show. So that is something that I am thankful for. I would also be really thankful that all of these loyal fans head on over to Apple Podcasts and rate, review, and subscribe to our podcast, which would make us very thankful to you all as well.
Yes. I mean, we're already thankful for you,
yes,
but if you're thankful for us being your source of entertainment, show your love with a little review ski. Thanks for listening, guys. Happy Thanksgiving.
Bye.